What's good, family man? It is your boy Maul.
And Sade, and we're back at it again with another video.
With
everybody's mom.
Man, today we finna right to even the babies have no respect, man. Casual Geographic, man. This is whatever his name is. It was Hood Nature at one point. I guess he changed his name. But let's get into it. Why is a hippo eating an alligator? That's the question.
Yo, if disrespect were a sport, hippos would be Hall of Fame. Because a fetus hippo can treat a grown crocodile as a chew toy and get away with it because they both know the croc won't do anything about it. Baby hippos will actually do this. Will they'll groom and lick the tails of homicide in the form of a crocodile like a teething toddler. Baby hippos have no fear or respect for an animal that could probably one-shot them with those jaws. And that's because crocodiles might have a brain the size of a walnut, but even they're smart enough not to give a mother hippo a reason to catch a body. Because this is how that movie ends. So instead of turning the baby into past tense, the crocodile just has to sit there and take it. There's actually a reason hippos do this. I just don't know what it is. I've known about this since I was 7, but I never found out why they go out of their way to violate them like this. My best guess is that hippos like the taste of the salt on the crocodile's tail and they just help themselves. Either that or hippos are so disrespectful that they don't even acknowledge crocodiles as living things. But normally crocodiles and hippos will tolerate each other's existence. And sometimes crocodiles will sunbathe while riding on the backs of this African homicide horse. The crocs never get too out of line because again, this is the end game. Moral of this video, when your mom is big enough, you can get away with anything under the sun.
What is that?
At this point, I'm not even going to apologize. You know what you signed up for. And if my eyes have to bear witness, I'm bringing everyone else down with me. Those are eponychia, but you probably heard them also be called fairy slippers. Those fairy slippers are a rubbery covering that goes over the hooves of a baby horse to protect its mother from the sharp edges while it's still inside her.
That's from a baby horse? Bro, I thought that was a plant.
It's like a pair of house slippers that the baby horse wears until it finally joins the outside. And if you've never seen this before, it's because as soon as the eponychium touches air, it starts to dry and fall off, especially once the foal starts walking. And sometimes the mother horse will pull the rubber boots off the baby with her teeth. And of course, none of it's painful for the foal, it's only painful to look at. After the first 24 hours, most of the horse feathers are already gone. It looks bad, but it's actually for a really good reason. Baby horses have to be able to stand and walk as soon as possible, since the smell of a horse being born can attract predators. But having fully formed hooves could put the mother in a peck if one of the sharp edges cuts her and causes internal bleeding. Moral of this video, this is what compromise looks like.
That's a fish. That's it.
I'm gonna hold you, that does look bad, but don't worry. It's worse than you think.
It's
Now I could be wrong, I might be wrong, but if I had to guess, that is some type of eel, especially a snaggletooth snake eel. You can find this demonic fire hose in the Pacific Ocean. Apparently the biggest ones can grow to 3.5 feet. And I'm gonna go ahead and guess they're one of those animals designed to live at the bottom of the ocean, so when you bring them up to the surface, they become deformed creations belonging to Satan. Which is probably why it looks like a possessed balloon animal, as a result of bloating after death. And with those needles for teeth, we can guess that it eats small fish, crustaceans, and maybe even squid, and those teeth keep the struggling prey from escaping. And if that acid trip of a rough draft is anything like the moray eel, then they have a second set of pharyngeal jaws in its throat to make sure whatever goes in doesn't come out. But having a throat with a child lock does backfire when you choke yourself into an obituary. And
why do it got so many teeth? Even in the this is
Like a piranha.
It says teeth in the throat too, so it won't come back out.
I know I said snaggletooth before, but it could also be a fang-toothed snake eel, especially since they're found deeper down. And as much as I genuinely love freaking y'all out, they're pretty much harmless and probably wouldn't bite you unless you did something to deserve it. So this thing's probably dead. But this is proof that nature has rough drafts and its trash bin is the bottom of the ocean.
Just bones.
You see these bones? You want to know what made these bones? You don't want to know what made these bones. Because this graveyard was found in the nest of one of the most homicidal things in the Amazon. Harpy eagle is a paralysis demon with wings. Not only are they one of the largest murder...
No, he big.
Nope.
Nah, he humongous.
Nope.
Alright, it got
Look how it look good. I make my skin crawl.
It looks like a person.
He got shankles on his legs.
Shackles.
Shackles.
Squeeze in the world. They have talons that are as big as the claws of a grizzly bear. Harpies use those vice grips to crush the bones of their prey on the way back to the nest. But there's one important thing about them that makes them a special type of menace. The worst thing about this eagle are those wings. Nature gave harpy eagles short wings, meaning not only can they fly through the jungle to catch prey, it means no name on the census is safe. Which is why this steroid hell pigeon has one of the most disrespectful babies out there. Just in this picture.
Was that a sloth? Oh my god. It took a sloth out.
And then if it was a monkey, it was
It took a sloth out.
That's one of the most disrespectful KDs out there. Just in this picture, you can see monkeys, sloths, armadillos, and lizards that never made it home because this Air Bundy caught them slipping. That is literally how they hunt. They'll sit in a tree for hours just waiting for
it looks
to
like
activate
it looks
someone's life
devious,
insurance.
man. Look.
Yeah, buckwheat don't be playing.
Ooh.
Because you said please, here's 5 things you might not know about this black Air Force ferret. One of their main defenses involves flipping their anus inside out and assaulting
That's
your senses with the
honey
smell.
badger.
Honey badgers are cousins with skunks and wolverines, and they smell just as ripe. Their reversible booty hole is so vile that it apparently stuns bees and stops them from attacking. Which brings us to number 2. Honey badgers
Reversible
are not
booty
immune to
hole.
bee stings. They are resistant, so they probably would last longer than you, but if enough bees get under a dome, they could end up being a pack. But since these hood weasels don't value life, not even their own, sometimes they'll actually sit there and keep eating while actively being stung by hundreds of bees. And because they are the way they are, sometimes they'll keep eating until they eventually get stung to death. Number 3, it's believed that cheetah cubs evolved to look like honey badgers so they could avoid getting harassed by other animals. Meaning this African bush ferret is such a case that a predatory big cat has to impersonate them just to get more respect.
Wow.
Number 4, in some parts of central India, they're called a name that translates to grave badger because apparently the honey badger has a reputation for digging out human graves and eating the corpses. And number 5, honey badgers aren't real badgers. Those are true badgers, and the honey badger's all the way over there. So when you hear me call this a steroid felony weasel, I'm only half
Now they
kidding.
said thing.
They exist.
What, don't know they exist?
Sharks have no fucking clue that camels exist. And
Oh boy, do I have a story for you. So like fun fact, actually mildly disturbing fact, camels are one of those animals that have no business swimming but do it anyway, and they're unnecessarily good at it. And an animal whose home address is the desert being able to pull up on you in the ocean is one of the biggest you I do what I want moves from nature. There's a type of dromedary
Why is a camel in the ocean?
That's some
camel
pretty
called
water.
Karai that are so comfortable with water that they'll cross rivers and even shallow stretches of the ocean as they look for food. And that's because these overgrown water donkeys love eating mangroves on islands offshore, so much that they'll travel for hours to get it. There's actually a pretty good chance that at least one shark has seen one of these sand-loving hump jockeys out in the ocean. He told his friends. They did not believe him. Moral of this video. If you're ever on a boat off the coast of a country like Algeria, you better be prepared to say what's up to a camel. This is a picture of an alligator riding on top of a manatee in Florida. I've already explained how gators aren't really a threat to full-grown manatees, and oftentimes the same reptile that would tear your arm completely off gives manatees the right of way in the water. But apparently these two hang out as friends. Kind of. There's a couple reasons why this might be happening. Alligators are cold-blooded, so they love chilling in sunny spots. I guess it figured an aquatic breathing beanbag chair was as good as any rock or log, since manatees are basically the capybara of the water. Oh seriously, different animal, but same vibes. Either the manatee doesn't mind or he's simply too unbothered to care. And to somehow make it even more wholesome, alligators and crocodiles often give each other piggyback rides. I don't really know why exactly they do this, but since it
as
does...
long as when I was little, I think they were the same exact animal.
I used to.
What's the difference?
One is smaller than the other.
So, let me get that right. A crocodile is smaller than an alligator. All right.
I think the alligator is bigger than the crocodile.
Yeah, so this is an alligator.
Mm-hmm.
This is a crocodile.
Mm.
This is more deadly. But they're both deadly.
It's the length of their
Snap.
yeah.
doesn't do anything for them in terms of survival, you can assume they do it just because it's fun. Probably a stretch, but there's a small chance that this is an alligator's way of playing with the manatee, and the manatee's just too unproblematic to stop him. Probably the first thing, but for the sake of my mental health, I'm gonna go with the playing. Let me tell you why this bird is the biggest menace to society you've never heard of. This is a southern giant petrel. Its nickname is a stinker because they have the same dub diet as
How
vultures
big
with
is
none of
they?
the redeeming qualities. This dumpster tweety takes all kinds of meat, rotting, decaying,
stinker.
disease, it don't matter, they don't discriminate. And just like vultures, when this overgrown corpse pigeon finds a carcass, it starts eating it ass first. They also delete and eat penguin chicks, and they've even been known to drown gannet chicks by holding them underwater until their soul gets evicted. Basically performing a baptism and an abortion for the price of one. Also, the giant in her name is because the biggest ones can have a wingspan of nearly 7 feet, meaning you're probably shorter than the length of its wings. It's not even the worst thing about them. If the petrel thinks you're too close, it'll projectile vomit the contents of whatever disrespect was marinating in its garbage disposal of the stomach. As if getting sprayed with half-eaten seal wasn't enough, it's actually so acidic that it can eat at the waterproof coating of seabirds' feathers. And some of the seabirds that get hit can't swim. Since they have sea literally in their name, that's a dick move. Also, the red faces because they spend so much time violating the corpses of other animals. They're basically seagulls on crack. Those are the eyes of a bird that will never see heaven. Yeah, cheetahs aren't big cats, and you're right, I probably should have explained that. So when you talk about wildcats, you have two flavors of felines. You got the Panthera genus, and you got Team Felinae. Now, the
Feline is the one that people be having in their house, ain't it? The ones that be on like TikTok. You know,
Yeah, I
the
think
big
so.
cats would be they be looking just like this.
You got Team Felinae.
It don't
Now,
look
the
right.
Panthera genus has lions, tigers, jaguars, leopards, and snow leopards, and they all have one thing in common, is that they can all roar. Except the snow leopard, but they're so cool they get in strictly off clout.
They can't
And
roar?
these are what people call big cats, but you'll probably notice there's two big names missing. And that's because mountain lions and cheetahs can't roar, so they don't qualify as big cats, meaning they belong to
They
the second
cry.
group of cats.
We know mountain lions cry. They cry.
Yeah.
Which also includes
Why?
ocelots,
Yeah, we had
caracals, lynxes, and even the pet cat watching you watch this.
I forgot which ones
Instead
down
of
here
roaring,
that
these guys
you can
purr.
see.
Apparently, if you're a cheetah, you also chirp like a bird because of course they do. Also, the name big cat doesn't really refer to their size because the smallest big cat is outweighed by the biggest little cat. Basically, it comes down to if you can roar, you sit at the big cat lunch table. If you purr, you ride the little cat bus. And if you're a cheetah, you sit alone because honestly, what is this?
Sound like a bird.
It can't roar?
It sound like a bird.
In real life don't...
Hmm.
Nah, that's crazy. Man, if y'all want some more, man, school geography, man, while y'all in school, y'all ain't got to school, y'all learn a little bit more, man. Y'all already know where to come, man, but y'all already know what to do, man. Please.
Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, subscribe to all 3 channels, all 3 channels, all 3 channels.
Follow me and Shawty both on Instagram, but other than man, we out of here.